Awesome.
I just don't. She's just doing this at it. That means we're live. Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
god!
We need a new
One
producer,
day.
everybody. We need a new
One
producer. We
day
need a new
we'll
producer.
get it right.
No, we're not. She was just doing this at us, and I don't know what that is.
It was good to go.
I was distracted. Okay, I was looking at another different. I was looking at a different tab actually.
That's my beauty.
Well, eventually, we're gonna get it right. Hey, everybody! Welcome along to. I'm just gonna say it. The penultimate episode of A Shadow on Our Heart, or the very first adventure of Saving Grace. My name is Declan. I am your dungeon master, and I am joined, as always, by a wonderful cast featuring our very own Grace Stormfield, played by Tendai.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm nervous. Okay.
That was so spooky. Continue.
Sueris, played by Amber.
Birdie boy.
Six, played by Eilish.
Bitch.
And Olivia or something. The absolutely wonderful Eludia Cinderal, played by Fiona.
So nervous.
We are all a little bit nervous because this is coming to an end, and we're like, it's not over. We'll Saving Grace will be back for another adventure. But in the meantime, we have things to wrap up. Murderous things.
Oh, oh.
So yeah, we the giddiness, if you'll forgive us, is more to do with nerves than anything else. So
not
I hope
excited
so.
to murder
Not
each
excited. We're not
other.
excited for murder.
Maybe I am.
Just you,
Crazy
if you're
girl.
down here,
Crazy
according to so you're down here. Okay, possibly the crazy girl. Before we get into it and we do a quick recap, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are, and I'm going to share something with you. First is we are D8 Dungeon. We are a group of Irish tabletop role-playing game enthusiasts. Just love telling stories. It is just a bit of a laugh. And outside of Saving Grace, we run another fortnightly stream called Rise of the Forsaken. Totally different world, totally different characters, some crossover of cast or players. And then every second Friday, we have a podcast that releases called Romancing the Dungeon. We used to say Romancing the Dungeon was a comedy, but now it's a weird...
It's a weird beast.
It's a
It's
black
still-
comedy.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy.
Oh.
Looking at the world of love and relationships and romance thrown in there as well. So yeah, and outside of that, then we do a whole load of other streams and stuff here on Twitch that you can catch throughout the week. We make maps. We talk about DMing. We have a date night tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is date night. It's the 8th of the month. And I think some of the gang from D8 Dungeon are going to be playing some games. They're looking to do some online multiplayer stuff. If you're in our Discord, we would love for you to pop in and play and hang out with us and just have a chilled evening of a Friday evening. You couldn't find a better looking bunch of people. I couldn't finish that. Sorry, I literally couldn't finish it.
I was waiting for the sarcasm.
I just couldn't finish it. I just couldn't finish it.
It was just like radio silence. Well, like,
Yeah, sorry,
oh
it just got
my.
stuck. The lie in my throat just got stuck.
Well, I think we're
Uh,
all gorgeous inside and out. Except Declan.
On the inside, I'm just chaotic evil. On the outside, after a couple of drinks, I'm also chaotic evil. That aside, one last thing to push. We have a wonderful affiliation with the Rook and the Raven. So if you are a DM or a player and you like to keep track of your notes, your campaign, your character's development, whatever it might be, and you're looking for a really cool journal that you can customize to your heart's content, you won't need that actually if you want to, after tonight or maybe tomorrow or the next episode. So you can always
Just burn it.
burn it. Yeah, you won't need it after. Just
Yeah.
buy a new one. Because if you use the code D8 Dungeon at the checkout phase of your purchase on the Rook and the Raven website, and details have popped in there, you'll get 15% off your order, and we'll get a portion of those proceeds, and that helps us create more content. That helps us get more art commissioned because we pay our goddamn artists. And yeah, so if you save money, we get a little bit of money, and that helps us do loads of different things. And yeah, it's been a phenomenal run. These past 7 verses, and we've another verse to go, so don't worry about that. But I do want to actually stop and thank first and foremost Louise, who has been our producer behind all this, and even with all the technical glitches that weren't her fault. And I mean, I've blamed her for all of them, but they weren't actually her fault. And I will be editing this in post, so that'll be removed from the record. But a big thank you to Louise, who does give up her Thursday evening, even though she's not playing, and
Thank you,
does give us
Louise.
a hand. It's
Thank
very much
you.
appreciated. No one clipped that, goddammit.
Snip it.
So beyond that, obviously, I do want to thank the players. And well, really, Fiona and Amber and Eilish had no choice. They are heavily involved in D8 Dungeon. There's no getting away from them. This is punishment for them. But Tendai, who I went to a couple of months back and said, hey, actually, Tendai helped me create Grace at the very, very start for Romancing the Dungeon. because we really wanted more representation in terms of the story and the narrative, and I really wanted to be as careful and as respectful to that. So when I was writing up Grace, I went to Tendai and went, I really don't want to fuck this up. Please help me. And it was only fitting then that when the idea to tell Grace's story became a real thing, that I went back to T.
Headhunted her.
Yeah, pretty much, and just cried at her until she said yes. So yeah, it's been I've had an absolute blast doing all this, and couldn't have done it without any of the five of you, because you're just really helping me get out my own dark, evil, murderous intentions as a dungeon master.
Well, we couldn't have done it without you, Declan, so give yourself some fucking
Exactly.
credit.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's all right.
You fucking imposter
like,
syndrome, bitch.
And past that, beyond us, everybody in chat, because we've had some regulars over the last couple of months.
Heroes. The heroes.
That's always awesome. And it's great. And I hope you have enjoyed. Otherwise, Jesus, like if you haven't and you stayed,
Why? You.
Don't leave, please don't leave.
Okay, all the niceness out of the. That was me getting all the niceness out of me. Okay,
Purge it,
I had to
purge
be
it.
ready.
It's all downhill from here.
Oh,
Yeah.
lads, my stomach's in knots.
So,
I know.
quick recap as to where we were at. Over on our YouTube channel at a later date. So if you've missed stuff or you want to rewatch it, we'll be making those available fairly soon as well. But to recap where we were, or where we're at, and how we got there, the gang had reunited after we had split up, and they had gone in search of lies. But we were sent out to look for the missing healer. We were sent out to look for herbs and whatnot to replenish supplies. And Six and Deacon had been sent into the caves for whatever reason. It became clearer to Six that they were looking for something more than just checking out the cave, that there was actually an intent behind their visit, and they needed to understand the purple fungi a little bit more. As fate would have it, the two groups collided when one group came crashing through the ceiling on top of the corpse of a very dead Grey Queen, a giant, a huge spider that they had fought and
I
killed.
killed her. I killed her.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I killed her.
Did you? Are you sure?
I did.
Ooh,
For now.
ooh, I should have left you in that pool.
You broke my nose.
narrowly having defeated it, but they defeated it nevertheless. Six and Deacon stumbled upon the group, were managed to provide a little bit of aid just in time as the group were attacked again by the mutation of the purple fungi, whatever it might be. Having had one sample already successfully collected, the group attempted to gather the remaining two. But without seeing the second, they managed to gather another sample of another mutation, only to have to flee for their lives, effectively, and come with the plan of coming back to maybe find the third specimen. In doing that, they managed to clamber up out of the cave and are making their way back towards the base camp for the Blood and Oil Vultures Company. And there was a couple of other bits and pieces in there. I think it was Six saw what was in the deep dark below, and the hundreds of purple eyes looking up at her. And there was the danger of a cave-in with the kind of the ground, the mountains itself actually shaking. So the group fled as quickly as possible. Sueris carrying Eludia out as Grace and Deacon and Six made their way. And that's where we pick it up. As you are rushing through the narrow, and the passageway here is it's the space is crushing. Like you actually feel your body scraping against stone as you try and just shimmy past it, and the entire time the mountain is just trembling. You can hear rocks overhead cracking and splitting. You can hear the echoes of it all around you in the passageways and tunnels beyond. You can hear the water, that underground river, gushing. Whatever is happening, it's happening across the range of the mountains. There is something, it's an earthquake. The tremors are unrelenting. Something is happening, and Deacon hasn't stopped. He is continuing to run. He's not even looking behind to make sure any of you are there. He is just running. And after what feels like hours, as you made your way in silence, with no words amongst each other, bar the sound of the rock shaking, up ahead of you, you can see light burning down, a faint orange and yellow glow at the mouth of the cave. And it's at this moment that their Deacon just lets out kind of a sigh of relief, and you actually see his whole body kind of even just relax. His shoulders drop a little bit.
Describe his shoulders again.
Are his sexy shadow wings gone?
His sexy shadow wings are gone. His spectral wings they've dissipated.
I prefer sexy shadow wings.
Sorry, his sexy shadow wings have dissipated.
Thank you.
He kind of steadies himself, and just leans into the rock on the side, and he continues moving. But a couple of strides into it, all of you, the trembling in the mountains has stopped.
Oh.
And he looks back over his shoulder at the four of you. Well, I don't know about the four of you, but I definitely need a drink. And he rips the leather mask off the front of his face. And with the faint glow of the torchlight at the mouth of the cave above, it's a climb up. You just see kind of like beads of sweat dripping down his face, and his hair is kind of clung to him a little bit. And his whole, like, as relaxed as he is, his whole body is heaving. He's gulping air. That we need to tell Reagan about about all of that. Is everybody okay?
For the most part, but what just happened?
I don't know, Grace. Best guess, earthquake. And he continues kind of walking up towards the mouth of the cave.
Six is gonna kind of catch up to him and put a hand on his forearm and just say, "Are you okay?"
He leans down a little bit towards you, Six, and he takes your hand, and he gets very, very close to your ear. It's been some time since I've been that close to death.
Same.
Oh, jeez.
And he kind of smiles at you.
And the
Look.
wings. We're gonna talk about that, right? You promised.
I promised if you came with us, I would tell you everything. And he looks back over his shoulder.
Yeah, she's just gonna let out a exasperated sigh and then be like, okay.
Okay, you are coming?
I need till the end of the day.
Of course. And Grace, Sueris, Ludia, give me a Constitution saving throw. Just to...
I'm still unconscious as far as I know.
Please
Yeah, that's
wake
what
up.
I-
You're so heavy.
Whether I would be sitting, I just sitting sat.
Sueris just drops you. We're close.
Oh my goodness. Con save. Let's go, baby. Ooh, 18.
You kind of you rouse a little bit. You're still incredibly weak. Like you feel heavy. Like you feel kind of the weight in your limbs, and your eyes are it's a bit blurry when you try and focus. But you see Six and Deacon walking a little bit further ahead of the rest of you. You're in Sueris's arms.
How are you holding me? Is it nice or am I slung over your shoulder?
If we've slowed down, I've probably grabbed you bridal style. But if we were running, you were over my shoulder.
You were running.
Okay. Yeah.
So how
You're,
do
no,
I-
you're.
Are they behind us then? Or ahead of us?
Well, at this stage, like you can kind of it might be that you kind of looked around a little bit and you're not seeing fully everything, but you kind of look over, you can just kind of see because they're walking ahead of you. So like that you've kind of leaned back a little bit.
And I realize it's Sueris holding me, yeah.
Yeah.
The feathers probably gave it away.
Sueris? Let me do it. Let me
I very gently like kneel down and sort of lay her back. Ludia, I don't think you're strong enough to
Fine,
walk
fine.
out of here.
I'm fine.
We have to climb.
Okay, then lift me again.
I just whoop back on the shoulder.
Properly.
Like a sack of coal.
I'm a lady, Sueris. I'm a lady.
Mm.
Properly. I'll keep bashing your back until you hold me properly.
I shift her over and I carry her bridal style.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
I'm
No.
just going to roll my eyes a bit.
Sueris, bring us,
Yes,
bring us
yes,
a bit
yes.
closer. Over beside Six and Deacon, please. Come on now.
I'm not
Come
a
on now.
mule. We're walking out of the cave. I'm
I
not.
just want to make sure they're okay. A little bit closer,
They're
please.
fine. Everybody, you're the one who's not
A
okay.
little bit closer, please. I'm gonna like pull at a feather a little bit.
I walk faster.
Thank
Drop it.
you.
Put her
Okay.
head.
I have no friends anymore.
Deacon kind of just gives you an eye, Six, and he kind of just gestures behind him as Sueris and Eludia, who is now awake, draw a little bit closer. Grace is behind them, still keeping pace, but isn't rushing to catch up with either of you.
Grace is behind me and Sueris.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm not well enough for sass yet.
Ooh, I would have tripped you both up. Just to watch you fall, I would have tripped Sueris up.
Collateral damage.
He would have been
Sueris,
fine.
what happened down there? What happened down there?
Do you not remember we were attacked by the fungus?
Oh no,
and
not that. Six. You saw what Six was like.
I don't know her well enough to judge her character.
Reagan said something to her.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I've
Mm.
barely spoken to her.
Just keep an eye on Deacon and Reagan, okay?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep going. Quicker now. Catch up. Come on now. You're a strong boy.
What happened to the rest of the health potion Fiona had, or Ludia had?
I still have it, bitch. You're not getting it.
Eat it. But I mean, does she have it in her hand, or is it like in a pocket or something?
It probably I would have fecked it back in my bag after you so rudely denied me giving it
Okay.
to you.
That's fine. I won't
Ah.
remind you of it then.
Would it be possible to just kind of like catch up with Suarez and Eludia and just kind of give Eludia like poke in the ribs as I walk
a knife.
by?
Yeah. give me,
Can I do it with the knife?
Jesus.
Like, just the hilt of the knife, like
yeah, give me a sleight of
Okay.
hand check.
Oh, so generous. Just the hilt.
I know, I know. And you say you got nobody.
I didn't actually stab you, therefore we're friends.
Mhm. Sleight of hand, that is a 15.
What's your passive perception, Eludia and Suarez?
I don't think it's that high.
14 bollocks.
Ooh.
Poke, poke.
9.
Nice.
Okay, so Grace, you kind of you pick up your pace a little bit to kind of catch up to Suarez and Eludia. It's not hard. He's struggling. He'll manage, but he's struggling to carry her. And as you pass them, you jab Eludia right under her ribs with the butt of a dagger, and like it's even that thing of it has to have hurt, like because you didn't just like it wasn't a clean got her right under the rib. You hit the bottom baby rib
Oh.
and jabbed there, and then you felt the knife drag down, so it was a dragging pain. I just,
Suarez,
I
you're
just
gonna feel my fingers just crunch into your feathers.
What?
Grace! I am wounded.
What are you talking about?
Emotionally and physically by you.
By me?
Suarez, get away from her.
No. I'm gonna step in front of Suarez so Suarez can't and say, "What do you mean by me? You are alive because of me."
And yet you jab me in the ribs with your knife.
Am I not allowed to get some little joy from this miserable life that I have at the moment?
Suarez, please remove me from her presence right now. Just keep
Will I
walking,
pass
please.
you over to her so you two can continue this conversation? We've
Okay.
barely just survived. Can we shut up for 5 minutes and get out of this cave?
Suarez, tell her to go away.
Finn, help me.
Suarez,
I'm just going
shh,
to
I'm talking to Suarez. Suarez, tell her to go away.
I'm
Suarez?
leaving. I'm leaving.
Okay,
I'm
go
leaving.
bye.
You-
Bye.
I pull my health potion out of my pocket and I hand it to Eludia and I sit her down and I walk away.
I'm gonna
Okay.
rip the cork out with my teeth and down it.
Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm ready for you. I'm
And
ready
now-
for you.
Her attention has been taken away from Deacon and Six, and she is just hyper focused on Grace, and she is watching everything about her. She's watching the way she moves. She's watching where she has her weapons. She's watching every single
yeah.
fucking thing about her and memorizing it, burning it into her brain, burning it.
Okay, are you
Every
drinking?
single thing
Are
about
you
it.
drinking the healing potion?
I'm drinking it, and
Okay,
I'm
so-
watching her.
2d4 plus 2.
I know you watch me. I know you watch me. Can't get enough.
Shh, T, I'm
Can
doing
ya?
maths. 9.
Okay, so you recover 9. You, Suarez, you just put Eludia down and just kind of palm a healing potion into her hands. You, the rage off of her is palpable. And as Grace goads her, still kind of half walking, half sauntering behind Deacon and Six, you turn and you walk away and you leave her.
I keep an ear out because if she
Yeah.
struggles, I will come back. But
But as the four of you walk away, there's just a smashing sound as Eludia flings the empty potion bottle against the wall of the cave. The entire time just staring at Grace.
I'm going to just look back very slowly, look at the floor where I can see the remnants of glass, look in Eludia's eyes, and then look back forward.
Yeah, I'll push myself back up to my feet, brush myself down, and try and compose myself a little bit. And I'm going to walk after them.
As ye continue, and Six, the entire time, Deacon has just kind of kept a hold of your hand.
Sexy.
You could hear something at the top of the cave. You could hear noise beyond. It was muffled and that weird garbled kind of echo. But as you draw closer and the torchlight gets a bit brighter, there's only one torch lit at the mouth of the cave. There's usually two. And as each of you draw closer, it isn't just noise from the camp on the other side of the hill. You're hearing roaring and screaming.
Uh-oh.
There is panic. And as you make it to the mouth, you see the Deacon's kind of picked up the pace again, and he just looks at you, Six. Get the others back to camp. I have to find Reagan. And he just kind of gives your hands a squeeze. And you just see the wings on his back form again, and they spread out. And he just squeezes your hands.
Can I see them holding hands?
Yeah, why don't you make a roll for it? You can see because they're at the top. You're kind of at the bottom looking up.
We're this little silhouette.
It's so romantic.
He just
Don't hate me because you hate me.
Okay, can I GM?
Yes. Continue telling my love story.
Sorry, when I just let this Danielle Steele thing roll itself out, shall we? I'm good. Peace, deuces.
Oh, yeah, she's doing the sexy wings bit.
You don't need me, apparently. Horn dogs. You again. He's just holding your hands. Tonight, Six.
Be careful.
And he lets go of your hands, and you watch him run, and he launches himself from the edge up here, and he disappears into the dark. But you hear a very audible kind of whoosh as his wings open, and he flies as quickly as he can towards the base camp. It's just quicker than walking.
She's just gonna turn around to the others and be like, "Come on, let's go."
Okay. You looked like you needed a moment there.
Shut up, Grace. She takes off at a run.
I'm just going to run along as well.
I'm walking.
Follow. All right, see you in a few hours.
As you make your way out of the cave, Sueris, Eludia, and Grace, you notice he came out of the chokehold. It was next to impossible when you were in it to determine which part of the cave it was. If you'd even spent time in this network of tunnels at the operations, the mining operation, inside in the dim and in the dark, impossible. But you know the tunnel, it's marked. And it's all a bit strange. But as that thought kind of bubbles up, the roaring and the shouting from the camp below gets louder. And as you take the path away here from the entrance to all the different tunnels and the digs torn into the mountain, the path kind of winds a little bit down the hill, and you see the bonfire at the base camp it's lit, but it's a dwindling flame compared to what it normally is. And you see people frantically running around. All of you give me perception checks.
Mhm.
Can I see 6 ahead of us? Or
Just a little bit ahead of you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I assume I can use my proficiency bonus, my natural explorer with this, Declan, can I?
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Um,
I got a dirty
22.
20.
Okay, 22,
24 for
13,
me.
24,
11.
All right.
11. It's not
Bad eyesight.
it's not as immediately obvious when you come out. It's only when you kind of manage to kind of catch a breath and you kind of begin to make your way downhill. There's a lot of footprints up and down out of the cave, which wouldn't be odd for a day at the camp. Groups go in, groups come out, groups being miners and guards. A lot of the prints seem fairly fresh. But there's two things with them that all of you notice, with the exception of Suaris. I think Suaris, you might be more focused on the commotion down the hill. You do spot the tracks. But Grace, Six, and Eludia. Grace, you spot the drag marks first. There's been things were dragged down this road, this muddy road. Eludia and Six, you both notice the blood. There's a lot of blood mixed into the muck. It's the smell of it. There's drag marks. You see the drag marks. And Grace, you now notice the blood, having kind of looked at the drag marks, but either a lot of wounded have come through here, or a lot of or there's a huge fight. You can't tell. But the drag marks, the footprints, the blood all lead to the camp.
Eludia would kind of pause at this stage, and she's fuming at 6, but she still loves her. So the way you described it, I take it 6 is at the head of the group, Suaris and Grace in the middle, me at the back. I'm gonna whistle, like the whistle that 6 would recognize, to kind of get her to stop and come back to me. And while I'm waiting to see if she comes back, can Eludia look around and see if there's anything else she spots in the area? Because she's on her guard now, having spotted the blood.
You all hear a whistle come from behind you. Six, you're the only one who knows it. It's the sound that you and Eludia make to each other. It's of a red barrel sparrow that was kind of native to the woods around where ye grew up. Ye killed a truck ton of them, like a lot. And this is the sound that a lot of them made when they were in pain. And Eludia and you mimic it. It's like a little call that you make to each other when you're trying to get each other's attention, and it's an important attention.
So she's gonna, because she's like almost conditioned to respond to it, she's gonna turn, like stop in her tracks and look back and turn, and then get about halfway and then stop and say, what is it?
Don't go any further. Let them go first.
We don't have time for this.
We do. Look around you.
Yeah, look around you.
Let them go first, 6. We'll follow behind.
I'm just going to look at Suarez like,
What the fuck? Her cheeks are gonna flush, and she's just gonna be like, Eludia, we need to go.
And we are just after them.
She's gonna like do the flourish of like ladies first to Grace.
Off you go. 4-man.
I'm
Tend to your camp.
I'm going to walk ahead anyway, but I'm just going to kind of look at Eludia like, okay.
Just gonna watch
Like,
you go, bitch.
like I'm gonna look at her with like a little bit of desperate pity and walk by.
How far are we still from the actual like camp then?
You're only kind of about a 10-minute walk.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going
it-
to.
The base camp and it's actually quicker downhill. But it's still about a 10-minute walk.
I was gonna offer to fly up and see what's going on.
Yep.
If somebody makes sure that my armor doesn't
I
go
will.
anywhere.
I will hold your armor.
Thank you.
I'm not.
Good.
Can we keep moving while?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll like
Uh,
plug the armor with me.
Yeah. So and I'll just fly up and have a look.
Do you want to give me an investigation check, Eludia, since you had said you wanted to kind of you wanted to look a little bit further. So you're letting everybody else go ahead. So
Yeah.
you're kind of holding Six back. Sueris, you're going to fly up towards the camp to get a better sense of what's happening. And
16.
Yeah.
Oh, he froze a little bit. Actually.
Sorry.
Sorry, 16.
Yeah. 16. Sueris, as you fly up and kind of towards the camp, you having kind of like taken the remnants of, and you don't wear a lot of armor. It's a lot of it is kind of ornamental. You hand it to Grace, and you see kind of bundle in her hands. She kind of continues to walk and kind of gives you a nod as you fly upwards. You dart straight towards the base camp, and there's a lot of bodies. There are a lot of people lying, and it's through the light from the fire, and you can hear people shouting and roaring, and you just hear, "It's over! It's fine! It's over! They're just help the wounded," and it's Reagan Moret. She's calling out to the others. The
No
rest of
longer under
yeah.
attack though.
Yeah, she had said it's over.
Okay.
She's shouting that it's over, and she's looking for people to help with survivors and the wounded. As the rest of you kind of continue on down, Eludia, it's not immediate. It wasn't. It's only that now that you've stopped to look for it, or to look for something, to look around you. There's just over the edge of the road. At first you weren't sure what you were looking at. It looked like just like a bramble. It looked like a root. It looked like just like debris. It could have been from a cart. It could have fallen out of one of the trolleys. It could have been something discarded by. But it caught your eye because it was moving. It was kind of, maybe it was caught in the wind. Maybe it was an animal that was kind of snaggled in it. But as you kind of move over to the edge of the road to look down, you find a severed forearm, and the ring finger and the baby finger are missing. They've been hacked away. And what's moving is where there are fingers, you see several wire-like tentacles twisting out of it. And it seems to be almost dragging the hand forward. But the skin, the flap of skin that was cut or torn from it is actually kind of stuck in the undergrowth.
Do I recognize, as I know you were saying when we were fighting the creatures down in the cave, they had like kind of spidery tendril things. Are these like those ones?
A few of them did have that kind of, these kind of longer tentacles kind of coming out of them. You did see kind of more thinner, almost like fiberglass style ones. But you knew that those creatures had weird tentacles. So without having to make a roll for it, you could kind of assume that it's something to do with those.
Can I Can I pick up? Is there like a stick or something nearby to pick up? And I want to try and roll it over a little bit. And as I'm walking over to it, I'm not going to be looking at Six, but I'm just going to say, I speak from experience, Six. If we all fall for the first creature that shows the slightest bit of interest in us, we'll get nowhere in life. So, just a word of warning, my dear, okay?
Six just stares at her, the back of her head, because she's not making eye contact.
Now come over. I found something interesting. I think Deacon might like it.
She steps forward.
With just kind of a stick, like a branch line kind of discarded on the roadside, Eludia, you kind of nudge and flip the hand over. It's now, some of those little tendrils have gotten tangled around each other and around the overgrowth here on this edge of the road. And Six, you see the severed hand looking to try and claw its way away.
Now, isn't that
Um,
something?
She's going to take her spear off her back and then
Skewer it.
skewer it, and then let's go.
Are you bringing it with you, or are you just?
Yes.
Give me an attack roll.
Attack roll with my spear. 18.
Ooh.
Just as you kind of flip it over, Lydia, you see it take your spear and you jab it and you catch it right at the wrist joint.
Mm.
And as you jam, the tip of your spear actually hits the dirt and you hear it scrape against stone and soil. And the fingers on the severed hand actually crinkle up and around in the way that an insect's legs would do. You see they actually kind of writhe and wriggle in pain, and then the tendrils go lifeless.
Oh, I killed it. Dang it.
Be on your
She's gonna
guard,
bring
Six.
it. She's gonna bring it anyway.
If that's here, can you imagine what awaits us in the camp?
How exciting!
I don't quite feel that excitement anymore, but let's go.
You should drink the rest of that health potion.
Oh, Suarez gave me one, thank you. At least someone cares. Come on now.
Grace, you've made it back to the camp at this point, as the other two have kind of lingered. And Suarez, are you still flying overhead, or have you?
No, I'd say once I realized that they weren't under attack, I probably would just left the group to make their way, since I didn't need to warn them, and I would have just jumped straight in and started trying to help the wounded.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
have us carry your fucking armor.
Have Grace. Grace.
People
correction,
are
Grace.
dying.
Just Grace.
Not me.
You, Suarez, kind of on hearing Reagan shouting out that it was over and they needed help, you land, and there are people running from like huts, and you can see Gladys and Garjok over on kind of one side, and they're over near the canteen, and you see people kind of being kind of carried in, and as you kind of land and you're kind of getting a stock of everything in front of you, the place is in. I mean, there's been raids on the camp before. There was a raid literally 2 days ago. This is different. There's a level of destruction here that the camp should have been. They were completely and totally caught off guard. And as you look around, amidst all this chaos, the only other thing that kind of stands out to you is the healer's hut. It's collapsed in itself.
I know there were people in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd run over there first.
as you run towards the medical building, the healer's hut, whatever you want, whatever you kind of addressed it as, um, sifting through the rubble, you see Deacon just sort of like looking around him.
What happened here? What?
Suarez, and he stands up, and he's holding in his arm like a journal. It would seem that you've gathered by now, the purple fungi, it's mutating. It's
Yes.
well, it would seem that in the time that we were away, Arbuckle and the others lost control of themselves. They're tending to some of the wounded in the canteen. We don't have any kind of gestures around. I'm trying to maybe make sense of what supplies we've left. The stuff that you and Grace and Ludia managed to find while you were out yesterday. That's some of what we need, but I don't think we have enough.
Will everyone who was attacked be infected now? As best we know?
That's what you and I have to figure out.
Okay.
Reagan's out is out making sure he's looking for any other survivors. I'm going to gather up what we have here. If you want to make your way over to the canteen, Gladys isn't exactly a nurse, but everybody's needed. Where are the others?
I flew in. They're on their way. I flew ahead to make sure it was safe, so that they should be here soon.
Good. I'll join you in the canteen as soon as I can. And Suarez, you see him kind of fishing around, and then he hands you kind of it looks like poultice. I don't have a mask. I suggest that you try and find something to affix this to your face. It's going to help. If we're dealing with more, then this is all I have.
Oh.
Don't give any to Ludia.
Give some to everyone except Ludia.
Be very generous, with one exception. Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can do in the canteen. Come find me when you have something. And I just run off.
And as you run off, the rest of you have kind of, Grace, you definitely have made your way back into camp. And when Suarez didn't return, it either wasn't two things. It wasn't urgent, or Suarez went down. You're not, but you see the Aarakocra running across the camp as you arrive, and in the distance behind you, you can hear Six and Eludia still kind of making their way.
Mm-hmm.
As you make it into the camp, you see that it's in complete and total disarray. There are people lying down. There are people trying to carry and lift people over. The healer's hut is in absolute. It's in a shambles. It's a wreck. There's damage to some of the other buildings, not as severe as the healer's hut. And you see that there's quite a group of people kind of congregating around the canteen.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of the camp, Reagan Moretz kind of standing there talking to people and kind of gesturing when she locks eyes on you. Oh, Grace, you're unharmed. You're alive.
Well, just about. What happened?
Arbuckle, he and the others that were affected by the purple fungi,
Mm-hmm.
they went insane. They attacked. They completely destroyed Deacon's supplies, the healer's hut, and she gestures over at it. And when guards went to stop them, they attacked them. They killed them.
And I assume they tried to kill anyone else who intervened as well.
They did, but the guards, they got up and they started attacking people.
So it's spreading.
We seem to have it. We seem to have it contained, but. And she kind of steps in a little bit closer to you, Grace. And at this point, she sees Eludia and Six. Both of you have made it in, and you see that the camp is, as I've described it, it's in ruins. A lot of the buildings have taken sorry, it's not ruins, is a bit dramatic. It's taken a serious hit.
Mm-hmm.
The healer's hut is destroyed. Some of the other cabins and huts that you'd have been sleeping in are in bits. Some of the storehouses are in bits. There's bodies everywhere, and people are being kind of ferried towards the canteen. But Reagan kind of leans in. We're going to have to make some decisions, Grace, about those who survived.
Well, yes. I need to get Suer's armor back to them, and I'll try.
Of course, I see, and she kind of gestures behind you. The others made it back, Eludia and Six.
Yes. However, their connection isn't quite what it was before, and I'm not sure if I'm pleased or saddened by that, oddly enough. But there's obviously more things to worry about now.
There is. If we can get things settled, in the morning, can you, and she calls out Eludia and Six, the both of you, you need to go look for any other injured. You need to bring them to the canteen. Gladys and Garjok are bringing people in. Find what you can to cover your mouths. We don't have a lot of supplies, but just cover your mouths. Try not to breathe around them. We had been working on, and Reagan just kind of shakes her head. What matters is we find the survivors. We rally them. We have to make sure that everybody is okay. Anyone that's alive, bring them to the canteen. Do you understand me?
She told us to go to the canteen, did she?
Told you to find people and bring them to the canteen.
People. I'm going to whip out my handkerchief, put it over my mouth. I'm going to make eye contact with Reagan, and I'm going to walk straight to where our cabin is, like where our beds are.
Is it still standing?
It is, yeah. Again,
I'm going to walk there. If there's bodies around me, walk past them.
Step over. Okay.
Yeah. See you later. Yeah. See you later.
Okay.
Eludia,
Yes, Grace.
where are you going?
Oh, doing my job.
In your own cabin?
See you later now.
She's going to keep walking.
I'm just going to look at Six and just say, deal with that. And I'm going to head to Suarez to give him his armor and start helping out. I'm going to give Eludia like 5 minutes before
So
I go
generous.
before I go looking.
As you go off to and Suarez, Grace approaches you and hands you your armor. Six, what are you doing?
Um, she's gonna watch Eludia go, and then whenever she hears Grace say, like, deal with that, she's gonna roll her eyes and not follow her.
Okay. So you're going to go look for survivors or supplies or stuff like that. Okay. Give me an investigation or perception check. Suarez, when you get to the canteen, you find the place. There are any table going is now a bed, and it seems as if they're not dead, a lot of people at the camp are injured. And as you walk in, you notice a lot of people injured where it seems to be like a flesh wound are at the front of the door. And then there's a gap of tables about 2 rows deep in the canteen. And at the other side, you see about 14 people all sitting there or lying there. Everybody else in the canteen, and Grace, you come in at this point, are kind of looking in their direction a little bit fearfully. And we are going to take a quick break there as you go. And if you want to give me a medicine check, Suarez, and
Yeah.
Grace, if you want to give me an investigation or perception check, and Eludia, if you want to give me a constitution check to see how well you sleep.
Oh, I'm not sleeping.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm packing up.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
But like she's so used to Six being her shadow. She's just gonna, as she's walking, she'll be like, the nerve of her, I can't believe it. Six, the nerve of her. And she wouldn't hear any response, so she's gonna turn around and realize that Six isn't there. And she's never felt such a mix of fury and despair and anger and everything. And she's a ball of emotion right now. And she's gonna go straight to where Six and Eludia's beds are. She's gonna take her bag. She's gonna start fucking shit in her bag,
Oh,
packing it up.
is this like a kid threatening to run away from home?
and
She's
on
gonna
that
take
note,
a. Oh,
we are
no.
going to take a break. We have to.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So angry.
we're back. Thank you so much. I hope you had a chance to get up, stretch, hydrate. I think that was the smoothest intro we've had.
was.
Yay!
Woo!
We did it.
4 months in, we finally nailed it. Hydrate. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you had a chance to get up, stretch, and so on and so forth. And I know there was a bit of like, no, I need the drama before we left. But don't you worry, we're coming right back into it. We're right back into it. And can everybody give me the results of their rolls, please? So, Grace and Six, you went looking for survivors.
Mhm.
What did you get?
I rolled a 19.
A 14.
Okay. The both of you manage to Six. You come across. It was always a bit weird to you and Ludia, but you come across one of the halfling guards that would have gone in and out of the mines. And when you first got here, and you were told that you were going down below, he was posted with your group, and Ludia made off the cuff remarks the whole way down about bumping him in bumping him off and bumping him in the dark and all this kind of these bits and pieces. He seemed relatively unfazed by her the whole way through, as much as she tried to pick and prod at him. He was incredibly brutal down in the mines. There was a particular incident where he had been attacked by a small group of those goblin bandits that had attacked, and he killed all of them before Ludia even had a chance to kind of get a clean shot off. He cleaned the 3 of them off. They were just gone. And Ludia kind of laid off of him at that point. Like, he'd kind of earned your respect. But now you find him lying there with a very dislocated hip. Like, his right leg, the hip, it's quite clearly popped out. And he looks up and he sees you. Six. Did you see Arbuckle? He tried to take my fucking head off. Fat bastard. He, like, these things coming out of his eyes and his ears and his mouth.
Does he look infected at all, or no? It's just his hip.
You give me a medicine check if you wish.
Oh wow. Not one.
I mean, other than the very obvious, that's not how a leg should look. He seems fine. Like, he doesn't have any other obvious cuts or damage to him. And he scratched the back of his head. And I had gotten him as well, but fell over a fucking barrel and popped my fucking hip out.
So embarrassing.
Yeah. I fucking know. Can you help?
Yeah. I need to. And she kind of,
if you
doesn't want to give him
sister of yours, I swear.
You should see your leg right now.
I can feel my fucking leg right now, and he's kind of pointing at it. Would you just give me a fucking hand to get up?
Oh yeah, sure. And then she's gonna like try and just lean over and like pop it back in.
Crunch.
I don't know. Would that be a medicine or a
That's
strength?
another medicine check. Yeah, that would be a medicine check.
Okay. 22.
Oh.
As you
I have +3.
as you pick him up, you grab his leg and you twist and shove violently, and he's like, "God fucking!" and he screams. He lets out a roar.
She starts cackling.
What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's half standing up and he's like hobbling on his left leg.
I fixed it, didn't I?
Fucking twisted bitch.
Oh God, you're welcome. So, like, where'd Arbuckle go?
He's fucking dead as far as I know. Reagan torched him.
That's a bit excessive, no?
Fire was the only fucking thing that seemed to do any form of damage to them.
Oh, I just stabbed this thing and it stopped moving. She pulls the hand in front of her.
The fuck are you doing with that?
You know, research.
Hang on a second. And he kind of reaches up to grab the spear.
Oh, don't touch it.
I'm not gonna touch the fucking dead hand, Six. That's Sissy's hand.
Who?
Sissy.
Blank stare.
If you and your fucking sister ever actually bothered to talk to anybody around the fucking camp, maybe you'd have gotten to know a couple of people.
Maybe if they weren't such fucking stick in the mud, we would have. Smiles innocently.
Oh my god.
He kind of he taps the spear away. I think I'm good from here. Six, thanks for excruciating fucking agony, but at least put my leg back in.
You're welcome. Anytime. Happy to oblige.
He just, yeah, he kind of swats the, he just swats the spear out of the way and just kind of hobbles. Everybody's going to the canteen, right?
Yeah, but like, you're fine now, so you probably.
Yeah, medical expert.
That's
really
me.
wasn't something I would have triggered you for, you
Oh.
lunatic.
Really?
Would you just give us the fucking hand getting there?
Yeah, sure. And she like holds out her elbow. Milady.
Oh my god.
He just grabs your arm and he leans very heavily onto you.
Jeez, what the hell did you have for lunch?
Don't tell fucking Gladys, but I almost evacuated out my fucking bowels in the leg of my trousers when Arbuckle came after me.
I mean, you'd do that anyway, even if you weren't fucking shitting yourself, literally, figuratively.
Yeah, to be fair, I do think it was actually quite fucking hilarious that they've turned the canteen into the healing hut. Most of the time, you go to the healing hut because you've been to the canteen.
Nudging him in his hip.
I'm gonna fucking let me just fucking stop.
Oh,
Sue
you
Harris,
crack
what
me
did
up.
you get on your medicine roll?
Natural 20.
Ooh, okay.
We're just
Are
all
you
fucking.
Wait for Grace. Let's see what Grace got.
It'll be like a 2.
are you tending to the people up front or the people towards the back?
I'll go to the back. So I'll just sort of tear off a bit of my tunic and try to wrap the beak.
Okay. As you go to approach, Garjok kind of just pipes up. Suarez, lad, look, far be it from me to give you a fucking compliment, but you're one of only 2 fucking healers that we have. Maybe you want to tend to and he kind of gestures over, and there's people like with a gaping wound. There's a woman like with her arm kind of like literally split in half.
Is it the one I found?
No, that arm would be missing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, but
Reagan
I'd
said
say
Reagan said they're infected. Look,
which means they're much worse for wear.
which means they're probably fucking gone, lad.
Well, we don't know that yet, do we? And everyone deserves a chance.
Well, if you're on that side, you stay on that side then, lad.
Look, handle yourself. I'll handle what I need to.
Gladys she just shoulders her way kind of in. Right, I've got fresh bandages, and you see that she's just ripped up some very mucky tea towels. What?
Could you start wrapping the wounds that those at the front have?
Oh, like neat little packages, Your Highness. And she kind of half curtsies with the bandages kind of tucked under her arm, and Garjok just kind of like pulls her away.
I'll continue to the back.
Poor Suarez.
You cross the floor of the canteen, and it is the biggest building at the camp. It serves as quite a lot of different things, and when you cross over, you see that it's a mix of miners and guards. There's quite a few. There's about 14 of them, and when you kind of approach, they all kind of seem to flinch a little bit towards, like kind of collectively as a group. And modeled in between them, you see a young. You recognize her. It's kind of it's that one familiar face in a crowd, and you recognize that Earth Ganassi. And she just kind of pipes up. I'm sorry, brother, but they told us to stand here, to stay over here, but I'm fine. I don't feel sick.
I'm just gonna sort of gesture at her and just say, "May I?"
Yeah, sure. And she kind of moves forward and she just holds out her hands to you, and then you just hear, "It's your funeral, lad," from the back.
I just kind of wave him off. So I want to have like a good examination of her, and just as I go, kind of try and talk to her. So what happened? Who did you have contact with? You seem otherwise like relatively unharmed. What happened to you?
There was all this noise in the camp like a couple of hours ago, and I could hear Miss Moret. She was shouting, and I came out of my bunk. My team weren't going down until later on tonight, and she's looking around. I haven't seen any of them. I left my bunk. I went outside, and there were just people running everywhere. And your office, the hut, it was just in pieces, and there were people attacking each other. And Arbuckle was there, and he ran at me, and he just had these things, and I don't know. He he lunged, and I tried to get away from him, but he fell on top of me, and I pushed him. I kicked as hard as I could, and I just knocked him away. But he coughed. He kept coughing and hacking, and I ran. And then Garjok said that Reagan told us, anybody that had come in contact, to gather here, that we were to stay here.
It's just a precautionary measure. We don't know what has happened yet. The fungus seems to be a bit more intense than we expected, but we have found things that help cure it, and we are currently working on something. And I kind of look around all of them, and I'm like, so I need nobody to panic. I do need you guys to stay separated until we figure out what's going on, but for now, everything's okay.
No offense, brother. And a tabaxi at the back just kind of pipes up, but like, telling someone not to panic usually is a way of inciting panic in a crowd of people. And he gestures at the other crowd that have been separated because they've come into contact with a fella who had a bit of a cough. Are you telling us we're infected?
I'm telling you, there's a chance. Look, I'm not going to lie to any of you. We're not sure
Right,
how
but
this
if I'm
is
infected,
spreading.
he points over at Garjok. You're fucking dead next.
Look, you don't want to cause any more damage than has been done to the camp so far. I know everyone's upset. I know everyone is stressed, and I appreciate that. And I've no problem talking to you about what's happening. but we need to not make things worse.
Well, you didn't have to say it like that. And he kind of sits back down. Her pulse seems fine. As you were like, you can definitely tell it's beating a little bit faster, but nowhere near
Normal stress,
yes,
kind of.
yeah. Beyond that, like without a proper examination, she looks fine. She looks healthy. She mentioned, all right, that Arbuckle had been coughing, that hacking up his lungs or whatever, but that was kind of it. The rest of the night kind of proceeds. Deacon arrives, and when he does, he tells you to go and wash and to rest up. That he's going to tend to people in the camp first and foremost, and just deal with this, and then you can take it over in the morning. But you're to get some rest first. They're going to need some supplies, and he's going to need you to go and get. And it's not just herbs to deal with the 14. That they're short. Everything is damaged, so they're going to need quite a bit. Grace, as you'd kind of maneuvered through the camp, you came across a couple of people who'd been injured.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're leading them towards the canteen, Reagan just kind of maneuvers herself, not between ye and the canteen, but just she's off to one side. Excellent work, Grace. How many of you came in contact with anybody that looked like Arbuckle? With the and she's trying to. She's kind of gesturing at her.
You mean infected? A few. Well, we came across some interesting ones while we were out looking for Reeves.
I'm talking here at the camp, and you see, of the three people you had found, two elves and two elven males and a human woman. One of the elves puts his hand up. If you wouldn't mind, you need to go around. All of you will need to go around now. Were you together? And they kind of nod. I'll take them from here, Grace. We're trying to keep them separate in case of infection.
Of course, you don't want to cross-contaminate the rest of the camp. That makes sense.
Precisely. And you see her kind of lose kind of focus for a moment. Will you show them to the back entrance? I believe Sueris and Deacon are already inside, tending to the other injured. It'll be fine. And she's kind of now speaking to the three of them. We're doing everything we can to figure out what's causing this. There's something else I need to deal with. And Reagan just kind of darts off back into the camp.
I'm going to look after Reagan, just because she seemed a bit more shaken than I probably would have expected, but obviously this isn't normal circumstances, and
Okay.
I'm just going to file that away, and I'm going to lead the three to the back entrance.
Eludia, you are in your cabin. You are stuffing your belongings into a bag, a satchel, a case, whatever it might be, a trunk. Are you doing anything else at this point?
She's going to take the ring, the wedding ring that she got from Reeves's belongings, and she's going to take a piece of parchment and she's going to scrawl on the parchment to the happy couple and take one of her arrows, and she's going to slide the ring down the shaft of the arrow and stab the parchment onto Six's pillow. And as she does that, she's going to realize that Six took the softer pillow from her bed and put it on her own. And she's going to dig the arrow in a little bit further. And get
One
ready
who
to
likes
go.
a bloody soft pillow. Everyone, God no.
Yeah, a
Super.
firm pillow. Great for
Concrete
multiple
mattress,
pillows.
concrete
Well,
pillow. Thank you.
Whatever the sexier pillow was that Six
Okay.
removed from my bed.
Well, apparently Six loves a soft pillow. The freak. So yeah, as you you just jam it straight down in, and you hear the rings kind of jingle. You're heading out.
Yeah.
You move away from the camp, and a lot of the cabins are sort of around the walls of the hill and the kind of overlying woodlands and stuff like that. They're mostly cleared away, to prevent people sneaking up into the trees and then shooting arrows down into the cabins. But you have to kind of clamber over kind of the deforested parts, and you can see like the noise from the camp has kind of quietened, and ultimately it goes from kind of a background noise to a background whisper to just silence, and there's nobody around you. There's nobody lingering. It's just you, your thoughts, and the wind, Eludia.
Around what time? It's nighttime now,
nighttime.
is it?
Yeah.
First of all, she's uncomfortable because usually Six carries the heavy stuff. So she has everything in her bag by herself. So that's pissing her off. And she keeps like instinctively like looking to her side to where Six would normally be when they're traveling together, and realizing that she's not there. And she's never not had her there, but Six has never done anything like this before. She's always listened to her. She's never left her for anyone else. She's never deferred to anyone else. I think what scared her the most was when they were in the cave and she went to approach Six when she was in her wild shape as a wolf, and she snarled at Eludia, and that just, something clicked in her, and she's like, she sensed the shift in the relationship. And as much as she loves Six, she knows they can't be what they were now that Six has essentially grown a pair of balls and is standing up for herself. And it hurts. And deep down, it makes her realize how much of an awful, horrible person she is. But she's just not paying attention to that little bit right now. Let's just put that to one side. But she's angry. She's hurt. Most of all, she's very, very upset. But that is fueling her anger. And she's exhausted. She's hurt. She's filthy. But right now, she just wants to get as much distance between herself and the camp as possible. And she's hoping. She keeps stopping every now and then just to listen and look back. Because her and Six have fought before. And she stormed off. She'll never give in first. She always waits for Six to come to her. And part of her hopes that she'll hear her following, but she doesn't.
You do hear someone following. First time you turned around, Eludia, when you checked to see maybe Six came, maybe she followed, maybe she found the rings and the parchment and the punctured pillow, and she came running. There was nobody there, but you had that weird feeling of eyes watching you. That same sensation that we all experience when we're alone in the dark, in unfamiliar surroundings, and we start to imagine all these things. And as much as you attempt to push it down, to push it away, it only grows bigger. That feeling begins to become a pressure in your chest, and you can now feel your heart beating. And when you look back over your shoulder again, it's just trees. It's just dark. It's just cold. And then you hear your name called out. Eludia.
Do I recognize the voice?
Reagan Moret. And her voice just echoes around you.
She'll stop and thankfully drop the heavy bag thunk onto the ground and turn around and just say, I'm done with you. I'm leaving now.
Done with me? Oh, oh, Eludia. Grace is still alive, you fucking idiot.
That she is? Oh, she's still floating around in there.
She
You're
is.
brilliant, Foreman.
Yeah.
Now remember what you said? You threatened me with Six's life if I didn't kill her. But you also pulled Six away from me. Now I have nothing to lose. So you can find someone else to do your dirty business, all right now?
Oh. Here's the thing, though, Eludia. There isn't a part of this world that you'll go to that I won't hunt you down. You told me you would take care of Grace. Now is the time. You see, and out of the shadows and the dark, Reagan steps, and she just... There's a flicker of light as she conjures a small flame in front of her, and it whips back and forth, and then it steadies itself in the air around you, the wind that's blowing. And her face is illuminated by it. I'm going to teach you something, Eludia. A lesson in patience. You need to make Grace suffer for what she's done. You'll stand there and accuse me of taking Six from you?
Oh, I heard what Deacon was doing, and I know who put him to it. You can pretend all you want. I can see right through you.
Ah. And the flame gets brighter.
That's a lovely trick, isn't it?
We need Six.
You're welcome to her.
We don't need her alive.
I'll catch her a little bit.
Grace Stormfield is responsible for many people's pain and suffering.
Good for her.
No, you twisted little fucking freak. Not the petty, trivial agony you like to inflict on the weaker things around you. Real pain. The kind that if you even bothered to recognize, to allow yourself feel it, Eludia, you would tap into something far more pleasurable. But you settle for a cutthroat scream, an idiot's cries for help. I told you to prolong Grace's life until the time was right. There were things that I needed to ascertain, discover about her. And she gestures around her, this place. I've done one of those two things. Grace is still eluding me. If you want Six to make it out of this alive, then that's on you, Eludia. Deacon and I are leaving in 2 days. We are taking her with us.
What does she have to say about that?
Oh, Eludia. If you think you're the only one that can smile and twirl their hair and make her dance like a fucking puppet, you are more delusional than she is. Now, I'm going to update the terms of my last offer to you. In the morning, I am going to send Grace to look for some supplies. Here, in fact. I am going to serve her to you on a silver platter, and all you have to do is put an arrow between those fucking eyes of hers.
I know what you're like. It won't be that easy, will it? I saw what you did with that owlbear. What are you planning?
I am not planning anything.
I'm not that stupid.
You are. Because if you try my patience, you'll learn.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
If you make it out of this, Eludia,
Mm.
and the chances for that right now are really slim, Deacon can tell you what happened to his wings.
Oh, wonderful. I'm sure that's quite the tale.
I wonder what part of you I'll take.
You've taken enough already.
I haven't even started you half-wit. So, you kill Grace Stormfield tomorrow on this very spot, and I'll allow Six to live.
How kind. And what else do I get in return?
You get a choice,
Mm.
Eludia. You can leave, knowing you killed Grace Stormfield. I won't tell anybody. It could be just a happy little accident. And you can go off and do whatever it is to your little black heart's content. Or you can get in line, and I'll do you the privilege of being a part of our little entourage. You can keep an eye on
No,
Six.
you can stop talking now.
Hmm.
Hmm. You promise she's the challenge that you say she is?
Eludia, I feel like I can be honest with you.
Oh, of course.
My money's on Grace.
We'll see. Off you go now.
And the flame just dims. Is there anything anybody else wants to do at this point? I mean, you've been dealing with the camp and helping out and stuff like that. Is there anything?
Does she leave? Does she just go? Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
She goes.
Yeah.
As she's walking away, can I take out my bow? And as she's like moving beside a tree, I want to fire an arrow at the same level as her head, right into the tree as she walks beside it.
Yeah. Making an attack.
I hope I don't eat shit.
What up, you do?
Yes. 24.
Ah,
You watch as she just vanishes into the dark of night, and just as you see kind of the edge of her silhouette just melt into it, you draw an arrow from your quiver, your bow in your hand, you pull back and you fire. It hits the tree, and you just hear a ha from the dark.
Just practicing.
I don't know who scares me more.
Okay, at this point, you can all take a long rest.
Oh my god, thank you.
Can like Fiona take a rest as well? I'm
Yeah.
spent. I'm spent.
And
Oh, no,
as
where's my arrow?
as you as night rolls in today and the sun rises, there's a quiet in the camp that you're kind of unused to. Six, when you did manage to get back to the camp, you found or your bunk rather, you found the letter and the arrow and the rings.
She is going to be absolutely furious that she didn't get to be the one to leave. So she is just gonna rip the arrow out of the pillow and then like just boil the piece of paper in like acid in her hand and then like just rip the pillow apart and there's like feathers everywhere. And she's just going to be absolutely like steaming with anger and then go to bed.
Give me the shitty pillow, bitch.
With all of that kind of done and dealt with, as you toss and turn for the night, Six, trying to get I can't say restful night's sleep, but a night's sleep. Grace, there's a knock on your door, and Garjok is kind of standing there with just the man looks like he didn't go to bed. He just kind of knocks or bangs rather on the door. Stormfield, Moret's looking for you.
Okay. If you give me a second, I assume I wasn't really wearing everything.
He kind of just rolls a hand up at you and just wanders out.
Okay. I'm just going to get changed quickly and head to Murat's den.
When you leave the camp, again, it's snowing, and it snowed. It started as you were going to bed, and it seemed to snow quite heavily. Now it's kind of there's a good solid like 7 or 8 inches of snow on the ground. There's people tending to the main camp, and you see that Gladys has kind of built an impromptu kitchen over the bonfire, the fire that's always going in the roost, and there's a large, heavy pot belly cauldron sitting on it. And you see there's people kind of gathered around it. People are kind of talking amongst themselves. No one pays you any heed. You cross over towards the Reagan's office next to the hut, and you can kind of hear rattling coming from inside. Deacon's obviously looking for more what he can try and get his hands on. And as you approach, the door opens and Reagan is standing there looking at you. She looks very tired.
Garjok said you were looking for me.
I am. Grace, I've spoken to Deacon. Our supplies, what little we were able to bring with us that survived, and she just squeezes the bridge of her nose and shuts her eyes very, very tightly. I can't send Sueris. Deacon needs a spare pair of hands.
I understand. I will go out in the morning.
We need you to go
Now?
now. I'll ask Gladys I'll give you some of my own supplies.
No, keep them. Other people might need to use them. I'll go grab something on my way out.
Deacon had mentioned, apparently Brother Reeves notes there's a small meadow just to the west, and she points back towards the cabin's direction you had come from.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for red flowers. He said red flowers with a golden leaf.
Red flowers with golden leaf. Okay.
She kind of, if you don't mind, and do take care. We've dealt with everything that's happened. When you return, I'll explain what happened. I think right now we need to stock up on as much as we can. And Grace, and she takes you by the hand. If you find anything, a boar, a deer, anything, kill it, bring it back. We could all do with something to lift our spirits a little bit, and I'm going to ask Six to go hunting. But if you find anything, do bring it back with you.
I will do my best.
Take care.
Okay. Am I good? I'd like to see if I can sense anything strange about this interaction.
Yeah, give me an insight check.
The whole thing is sis.
So, right? Like, I know I'm not the brightest, but that is a not 20. So that is a 22.
She seems exhausted, but she's not lying.
Okay. Because I still haven't forgotten how she was staring at me across that fire,
Mhm.
death in her eyes. So
She doesn't seem like herself at
Mhm.
all. Like when she first arrived, she was very composed, even in the middle of the ambush and whatnot. But this seems to have knocked her a little bit. And it might just be that she hasn't slept. It might just be that the adrenaline has kind of worn off. But she does seem different.
Okay. I'm going to just nod and make my way toward Gladys's pot of doom, and then heading out as soon as I can. So
Okay.
I'm just going to try and chuck all that food down without tasting it.
Delightful. As you pass, uh, give me actually. I won't even make a roll for it because they're not kind of being quiet about it either. But Garjok is kind of chatting with Gladys and kind of giving her a hand, scooping up stuff from the pot and whatnot, and it's the same usual gloop, but it's not even boiling hot. Like it's kind of got the consistency of like lukewarm jelly.
Oh
So
my goodness.
yeah.
How hungry am I?
Well, it's been over a day since you've eaten.
Eat the jelly.
But okay, a human can survive for a human can survive for 3 days.
Okay. You overhear Gladys and Garjok talking. But you're not sure what, because it's only kind of a snippet of the conversation as a bowl is kind of handed in, and he just says to her, "No, Gladys, sweet, they've moved them. They've moved them. And that's all you're managed to hear.
Okay. I'm just going to file that away to examine later and just try and suck down the jelly.
Okay. You
gee.
slurp
What a
on
verb.
your breakfast and you head
Stop with these verbs. Holy shit.
you finish, you hand the bowl back and you make your way kind of up towards the rim of the hill that overlooks kind of the cabins and the rest of the base camp. And it's a bit of a struggle of a climb in the snow, but you make your way over the ridge, and you see that more and more people are kind of milling about in the camp below,
Mhm.
and even a few people are making their way up towards the caves. It seems as if life will kind of continue, or work will continue on the camp today. Sueris, you are woken from your slumber by Deacon, who's kind of just kind of put a hand on your shoulder, just giving you kind of rocked you a little bit. Brother Sueris, I don't mean to. I need your help.
Of course, yeah. No, no apologies. What's happened?
You inspected the others last night,
Yeah,
and you see that
yesterday. Yeah.
he's got the leather mask with the poultice at the end of his mouth. They seemed okay to you.
As of last night, I couldn't detect anything odd. No, they were healthy.
I'm going to need you to come with me.
Okay.
He moves away from you and kind of walks towards the door, and he looks back. You might want to ring, and he points at your gear.
I do. I throw everything on real fast and cover my beak again.
He heads out. There's it's that kind of just kind of a drift of snow kind of billowing in from all sides. And when you step out, there's kind of a heaviness on the camp, and like it's not that this place is a happy-go-lucky, super joyful place at all, but this is different. There's a very strange energy about the place. And Deacon has moved past the bonfire, and where you see that Gladys and a few others have kind of set up a mock kitchen, and he's moving up the hill towards the caves.
Okay. Following cautiously.
Who did you interact with?
Do I know her name?
No,
Okay.
you don't. Again, not that you didn't. You're rude enough to not inquire about it. It's
Not
easier not.
important in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the young Earth Ganassi woman, primarily.
And no symptoms, nothing like what you would have encountered with previous
No.
interactions with the purple fungi.
No, it was as thorough of an examination as I could have managed at the time, and she seemed totally normal.
That's understandable. I had some time last night when I'd taken care of the others, and thank you for your assistance with that. I've a few concerns about what we're seeing, and he gestures up the hill and the caves beyond, and obviously what we saw below. Have you ever encountered anything like that before?
I've encountered mushrooms that have caused death, but not in this way. This is a whole nother level for me. I've had relatively humble experiences thus far.
I've I had read about parasitic fungi that leech from their hosts, draining them of life. There's something, and you'll forgive me for how cruel this might sound, but fascinating about this particular specimen. It reanimates its host. It seems to keep it alive.
Does it seem to be sharing its life?
You see, I knew you were quite the bright one. I proposed the same to Reagan, that this thing to me, from what we experienced in the cave, it acts almost like a network. That they don't operate as individuals, that even as separated as they are in other hosts, they all act according to what Reagan and the others said. They acted in a way that, well, as if they shared the one goal.
So they're one consciousness? They can read each other, or
I'm not I'm not 100% certain yet.
does
And
this theory
yeah, go on.
does this theory help us cure them or care for them, you think, in some way?
Well, I think if we find the central node of this fungus, like the root of it, if you will, if that was destroyed, then certainly. But I I'm only guessing.
Would destroying that not hurt the entire system?
True. Anything infected by it would most likely die. There's some there's something in that, though. I think I don't quite fancy the idea of being a husk of myself controlled by something else. Do you?
No, of course. And uh, as much as I've sworn to protect life, that's not much of a life at all.
Is there something meaningful in death? As difficult as it can be.
If this death on this scale can save others, it might be necessary.
He continues walking um, for a little bit of time. And you see that as you continue up the road towards the mouth of the cave, there are a few people up here. Guards, mostly. And over the chokehold, you see quite a few heavy linen sacks sort of nailed to the wall. Brother Suarez, I've I know it's only been a short time that I've had the pleasure of working alongside you. I'd like to thank you for that.
Of course, anything you need, it's been a pleasure working with you as well.
I'm going to need you to step inside the chokehold, please.
Have you found something?
Please don't make this difficult, Suarez. You came in contact with the 14. We need to keep you and them away from the camp.
Are you quarantining them inside the cave?
It's safest for now.
Safe for
separated-
whom?
Safe for the others down below that aren't infected. You're a healer, Suarez. You can keep an eye on them. You can keep an eye on yourself. I will... Reagan wanted to burn them alive. And be done with it. If there's still a chance that they are not infected, you are the best qualified.
Surely there are more of those creatures in the caves. I can't protect 14 people on my own.
Then I hope death is swift. And he gestures towards the cave.
Are those guards doing anything? The ones standing at the...
They're all standing, listening, and waiting to see what happens.
I'm assuming I get the vibe that if I bolt, they'll throw me in themselves.
Yep.
Fuck.
Do it.
Okay. I just give Deacon a bit of a look, bit of a raised eyebrow, but I just bow gracefully and as you wish and go into the cave.
You...
I don't like playing nice characters. What's wrong with me? I've never done this before and I'm never doing it again.
I'm making it a Princess Bride moment with that as you wish. So.
You kind of half bow at Deacon, and he returns with similar, like he nods his head at you. Seal it. And the guards hold up their hand and produce flame, shoots straight up. And as you turn back, his words echoing towards you, Suarez, you just see Deacon standing there with kind of a curled half grin on his face. And the sacks of blasting jelly just erupt. And you are sent flying down the mouth of the cave as rock and dust and debris crumble in down on top of you. 6.
Oh my
Jeez, what the fuck?
Come on,
Ooh.
go to Daddy Deacon now.
I
Go
don't
to your
know.
daddy.
You are awoken to the sound of a huge rumbling. It's that thing of like you dart awake and you can kind of hear people outside clambering about.
She's gonna just get up and get dressed and leg it outside.
Everybody is looking up at the mountains and the ridge, the hill, and the caves beyond, and you just see a large cloud of dust.
What the hell happened?
Garjok just looks at you a mine. Explosions. The usual.
Yeah, okay, except it's the morning.
Oh, sorry, Princess Six. Of course. We should have perhaps alerted the miners that Her Majesty was still asleep. Reagan's looking for you.
She just stares at him as she walks past and then gives him the finger and keeps going.
He kind of like he just stares you down the entire time you're giving him the finger. And then Gladys just kind of pulls him away and like shoves the ladle for stirring into his hands. I say stirring, I meant churning.
Oh,
Please.
There's a that echo just kind of cuts through the night or the morning air of the explosion, and you see people are kind of still milling about. And as you approach Reagan's office, the commander's hut, give me a perception check.
I'm not able for anything else. I
Oh, fuck
can't.
me. 14.
You hear a faint. You hear a voice inside. It's almost done, my lady.
Mm.
You will have her hurt. I promise you.
Do I recognize that it's Deacon?
It's Reagan.
Or Reagan? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can she like lurk outside and see if she can hear more?
Give me a stealth roll.
Because she's immediately assuming that it's hers that they want. Oh, fuck me. 5. I trip.
You lean kind of in on hearing the kind of the words. You kind of lean in a bit closer, and then you just hear like a slam, like just like something slams shut, and the door swings open. Reagan is sitting behind the desk.
That's a neat trick.
6,
Reagan.
please come in.
She kind of looks around for Deacon and then realizing he's not there, looks over her shoulder at the camp and then walks in and sits down.
Reagan gets up, walks towards you, and then shuts the door. I spoke to Deacon briefly last night as to what happened in the chokehold. He told me you saved his life. Six, I know we had offered you a chance to come with us, to work
Her heart
with
sinks.
Deacon and I. And Reagan, she steps towards you in the chair, and she crouches down so that she's kind of at eye level with you. This isn't easy to tell you. 6. And I can't pretend that I even liked her. Eludia is dead.
No, she's not. She left in a straw.
I asked Deacon to keep an eye on her. Your sister, she lost her footing. She tripped in the dark. I don't understand. We're trying to make sense of it. Six.
No, no, no. She's no. I'm the clumsy one. She wouldn't just fall.
She tried. And Reagan just reaches over onto the desk and she pulls an arrow. And on the end of it, there's a rope. And the rope snagged, and you recognize the feathers. She tried to climb down.
Why? What? No, that makes no sense. She wouldn't do that.
Deacon has sent some people to recover her body.
Where
But
are they? I'll go find
Six,
them.
you can't see her like that.
She's not dead. There's no. I'd know. I'd know.
We have work to do around camp. I'm going to need you to focus. There are still people that we can help. As soon as she's brought back Six, I promise you, you can be with your sister. But allow us to bring her to you and to present her in a way that you'll recognize.
This doesn't make any sense. Like her mind is going like a mile a minute, and she's absolutely like frantically trying to figure out why Eludia wouldn't just like walk a little bit away and wait for her to come find her, or wait for me to
Reagan
find her.
Reagan takes your hands into hers. She, like, sensing you losing a little bit of composure, losing a little bit of yourself. I realize things had gotten difficult between the both of you. But, and as difficult as she is, Eludia would want you to keep going.
You really don't know her that well.
Have you had anything to eat this morning so far?
No, I'm fine. I don't need to eat. What? Just oh my god, this. I where did it happen? How do you know? Like, I need more information.
Deacon had her followed west beyond the cabins.
By who?
He has a means.
What does that even mean?
He can track. Right now, he's taking care of the others who had become infected.
Taking care, taking care.
Yes, they're fine. They're alive.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. Like, taking care of the infected?
No.
Why not?
And she just kind of brushes a little bit of hair away from your face. They're still useful to us, Six.
Okay. Tell me what you want. I just want to get out of here.
I'm going to need you to act like everything is perfectly normal. We have taken measures to ensure that those who had come into contact with the spores are sealed away. I need to put people on the caves I can trust to keep an eye on.
You want me on guard duty?
I want you to make sure that if anything comes out of the cave, it doesn't set a foot outside the mouth. We cannot have another incident like we had last night.
I can't hold that thing off by myself.
You won't need to for long. We're leaving.
When?
As soon as I give the word, you, Deacon, and I are away from here.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's just gonna scoot the chair back. Where is Deacon?
Dealing with another issue.
And Grace?
Won't be a problem for long.
Her eyes kind of narrow at that. Sueris?
I'm afraid Brother Sueris had come into contact with the spores.
I see. Oh well. She's just gonna move towards the door. So that's it. She's really dead, huh?
As soon as we bring her back, I will send for you.
Okay.
And Reagan moves back to her desk and the paperwork that's on it.
She's gonna walk outside. So when she's outside Reagan's office, the mountain is one way,
You're right. Yeah.
and the way she said Eludia went is the opposite way.
No, you're as you're looking at it,
Yeah.
on your right are the mountains, on your left is the path down out towards the woods and the Devil's Navel, the pond.
Yeah.
And the canteen and stuff like that is all on your left. Directly in front of you are the cabins. So you're looking at west. You're looking westerly. And
Okay.
that's where she had said Eludia had gone.
I am going to wild shape into a panther and try and pick up Eludia's scent.
Okay. Grace. You climb over the ridge, and you've been heading westerly, looking for this meadow of plants and herbs, these flowers that Deacon had told Reagan that you needed. Give me a survival check.
Sure. That is a 17.
A lot of the ground is covered in the snowfall. You don't see, you can't see much uh, grass or flora kind of poking up out of it. You're still on kind of it's a soft descent. It's not a drop or anything like that. Um, but as you kind of make your way through the the brush and the woodlands here, a couple of things sort of come to.
Sorry, guys, to put in just a few of you are frozen. Someone
Oh.
just pointed it in chat. If you want to restart your cameras.
Just gonna assume it's me because I've got terrible internet. And yeah, sorry. As you were maneuvering through,
Mhm.
a couple of things kind of caught your eye. There's a few of the twigs and branches and stuff are snagged here and there, kind of half broken, stuff like that. Like something's passed through very recently. But you don't see any footprints. You don't see anything of the sort, and you kind of keep trudging through the snow. And out of the corner of your eye, there's a slight ridge that you can kind of just see. It's just a dip in the hillside here, and you can see kind of where like a chunk of the earth, maybe a boulder had come loose, it had fallen away. There's kind of a small little cave, like a small little hole, and there's a little trickle of water coming from it. And the water is jet black.
Oh. I'm going to kind of like take a wide berth around, but kind of getting a bit closer to it while being very cautious and kind of on edge.
As you sort of like step around it, trying like keeping it in vision, as you kind of maneuver around it, a voice calls out. It has been too long, Grace.
Do I recognize this voice?
The voice sounds like knives in your ears. A cold sweat runs down your back. The Grey Lady.
I could have sworn it was Oni earlier today.
Uh,
Yesterday?
the boy's hurt.
I'm working on it. A lot has happened and I
A
know.
lot has happened, Grace. And all of it will be undone if you do not secure me that hurt.
But why him?
Who are you to question me?
I I'm not questioning. I'm just trying to understand. To I don't know. I was just wanting to know. It wasn't questioning. I can't.
The end of the day.
End of the day, and it is that midnight or sunset.
You'll know, Grace. Because if I'm not holding his hurt, I'm taking yours.
Grace is going to kind of consider that for a second, just thinking,
Now, Grace. Selflessness never looked good on you.
I know, but
And if
hey,
what you did to Thane, I will do tenfold to you.
but he deserved that.
Of course he did. Now bring me that heart. Oh, and Grace. Duck. Eludia,
I'm
give
gonna
me
drop.
an attack roll with advantage.
Ah, I'm not ready. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, my dice got stuck in the
Sorry.
tower.
Just one quick thing before we jump. Sorry, why are you so excited to fucking attack another player? Is everybody okay? Are we okay?
Yes.
I will be in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And it's 10:30. Do we want to stop
Mhm.
here?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't want to stop.
I kind of
Okay.
do. No, we can go on. We can go on. It's up to you. You're the DM.
Yes.
If you're
yes.
happy for it to stop here.
I'm on summer holidays.
Yeah.
Oh, bastard. Let's make him play
Rude.
until midnight.
um,
Come on. We'll all be angry tomorrow. You won't.
is everybody else okay to continue on?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not-
Go on. Go on.
Louise, are you okay? Sorry, you're obviously producing this for us, and it's weird if we say, yeah, we'll keep going. But if you want to let us know if you're happy to keep going, we'll keep going. If not, we might schedule another one.
She says she's good in chat.
Okay.
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 Oh,
All good,
no,
don't end.
T. T, I love you. I love you.
too.
Okay. So,
I'm about to hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry.
and for the record, conversation in game is free. There's no reason to stop talking as you're murdering each other. Here for it. Could I ask though that Sueris and Six do keep their mics maybe muted for this, just for
Get
Yeah.
ready to find my body.
Your attack roll?
A dirty 20.
hits Grace?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and your damage. Just always roll the damage with it as well, just to kind of.
Okay, sorry. I'm just a bit tense,
that's fine.
Declan. Please. Oh my goodness. 10.
Okay. Grace, as the Grey Lady's voice just echoes out from that small hole under the hill, and you go to throw yourself down, an arrow just whizzes past you, and it cuts right across your jaw and chin, almost piercing side of your face.
Ooh.
And there's a huge cut, and you hear a thud as it hits the tree. Looking over to your left, what does she see, Eludia?
Nothing.
We're hidden. Give me a stealth check.
I hope so.
Yeah, give me your stealth check.
Okay. Nothing. It says I fucking myself up. I thought he was just being tense. Oh no, he's back.
No,
He's back.
it just went. Sorry, it literally went. What did you get?
My heart is thumping. 21.
Okay, you're. There's nothing when you look to your left,
Mhm.
Grace. There's nothing there.
Where can I? Did you say I caught her in the cheek? Did I?
Yeah,
Okay.
like sorry, you were aiming for her face. You caught her along the chin. Like so,
Okay.
there's a huge deep gash along her chin.
You're not going to see anything, but you're just going to hear.
I'm going to duck for cover.
Run, bitch.
Oh, I'm gonna get you. But I can't see shit, so. And I'm going to say, Eludia, of course, shooting from the darkness like a coward.
You hear nothing. Nothing else.
Okay. Can you both of you give me initiative rolls at this point?
Oh my goodness. I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
Dirty 20 again.
Ah,
Don't.
I got a 19.
Okay. Um. So, Ludia, you have your first up.
Okay.
Where you're standing, you're in sort of a I can't even call it a clearing. There are a lot of bare trees just sort of nested around. There's the ridge on, let's say, on the north side of the hill. It's like a small little kind of overhanging of rock and dirt with a little hole inside a cave. There's a trickling of a river or of a brook rather coming from it, and there's just snow everywhere. And under Grace, where you've kind of taken cover kind of behind one of the trees, they're very slim. They're birch trees. We're not talking here giant oaks or anything like that. Where it's barely providing half cover.
Did I see where she went?
You can see her. Yeah, you're going to
Okay.
be shooting at her at disadvantage.
Is it possible I get 40 feet of movement for my first turn? Is there
Yeah.
possible for me to get up on that ridge to get a clear shot at Grace? Within
Yeah,
that
but
40
you're
feet.
gonna have to do so at stealth.
Okay, I'll give it a try. I think I'm a little bit of a stealthy bitch. I'm gonna keep rolling my new sexy orange dice that are working so well for me. Yes, 24. Oh fuck yeah.
Eludia, you slink low. You watch your footing. Like you keep an eye on Grace, but as you glide through the snow and between the trees, you watch to see if she's noticed you, and there's no sign. And where you uh, where you were a moment ago, she's you've kind of clambered up over onto the ridge, and you're looking straight at her, and you can see that there's a deep cut on her chin. There's spottings of blood on the snow. You've your action would be kind of stealthing over and taking the spot, but you've maintained your hidden position.
Okay, can I bonus action Hunter's Marker? Um, normally when Eludia is hunting something, be it creature or person, she's very active, very dramatic, but as much as she hates Reagan, she has taken on board her warning that Grace is a difficult target. So she's kind of more hyper focused than she normally would be. So she's just gonna take a breath and focus on Grace and cast Hunter's Mark on her.
Okay. Um, you all of that kind of weighing on you, and there's something about this, Eludia, that you don't know if it's the fact you caught her off guard, the fact that she showed up, but you can actually feel your pulse pounding, the adrenaline coursing through you. There's a sweat. You haven't felt like this for years. This is a lingering sensation. And you watch as as you focus on Grace, and everything about her, you know and understand. You've been watching her, you've been waiting for this moment. And she is marked. Grace.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and have a look to get an idea where she is, where she might be coming from.
You're going to have to give me either a perception or investigation check, and you're going to have to beat Eludia's 24, wasn't it?
21 that time? I can't remember. Was
That
it 24? Thanks, Amber. I'll
that
take the 24.
is a 22.
Okay. You can't. You track the tree line. You track. Your whole thing is on where the arrow came from. You're focusing on where it came from, and your eyes are focused on that space. You don't see any sign of her at all whatsoever.
I'm going to look around and see if there's anywhere that will provide me with thicker coverage.
The most immediate spot,
Hmm.
the ridge and the hole,
The hole with the black water.
where the water, it was black water. Now it's just a trickling brook.
Um, and how far away is the ridge?
You'd make it on your turn. It's only about 25 feet away from you.
That's
Okay,
where I am, isn't it?
You're above it. Yeah.
Okay.
okay, so I'd be pretty much underneath Eludia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dash.
Okay. Um, Eludia, you watch as Grace just hunkers down and then bolts. It's like watching a rabbit dart for its own burrow. It's that fleeting moment of you've walking into your own grave. You've trapped yourself. And you see her disappear as she vanishes under the ridge and into the tunnel below.
She'll enjoy seeing her run, and she'll just say to herself, "Run, run, run." And then, so did I see her? She went right underneath me.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'd have to kind of get down and around to get a shot at her. She's gone into the cave, or I obviously didn't see what I.
You saw her disappear under, yeah.
Okay. I'll attempt to. I've got 30 feet of movement. How, if I try to move down and around, how far, like, where would I get to?
If you hop down, it's a 10, it's kind of like just under 10 feet to hop down. It's only about 8 feet up over. So kind
Okay.
of over the ridge, if you hop down right over it, 10. If you come down and around, it's going to take you kind of another 30, 35, 40.
Okay, because I'd rather go around though, because I don't want to hop down in
give
case
away.
she's right in the cave. Well, no, just for my longbow. I don't.
Okay.
I want to give myself that bit of distance between myself and where she might be.
Okay.
So I want to use my movement to go down and around, and then whip around and see if I can spot her. If there's any trees or something, I would like to obviously be behind one of those if possible,
Okay.
looking into the mouth of the cave.
You're going to try and come down and around to get a look.
See if I can see her in there. Yeah. I don't want to go near her, so I'm not hopping down.
You circle around as quietly and as carefully as you can, longbow still in hand, but your free hand hovering over your blade. When you come down, you see the tracks, you see the spotting of blood leading to the cave, the little mouth. I keep saying cave, the tunnel. It's a hole in a hill. In the darkness beyond, you don't see. Well, Grace, give me a stealth check.
Mm-hmm.
And have you dark vision?
Me? Yeah, up to. I think it's quite far actually.
Yeah, it's like 120 feet.
No, not that far.
Okay.
90 feet.
Okay.
So that's 18.
Okay. Give me a perception check, Eludia, with advantage.
Ooh, come on, baby. What's my perception? Fuck. Yes. Oh my god, these
Oh,
guys. Natural
fuck,
20. Natural 20.
Oh no.
Oh, let me roll the second one just to see how bad it would have been.
Well,
An 8.
It's just that we've got
An
15
8.
minutes, but okay. You creep down, and as you come around and you just lean in, kind of half pressing against the bark and the trunk of a birch tree, Grace is no more than maybe 10 feet inside. There's nothing else to this. She's kind of half pinned to the wall, hands on her blades. She is a rabbit trapped in its own burrow.
I'm gonna.
Grace. Nope.
No.
Moving, looking.
Oh my god, let me.
And you have to give me a stealth check as well, actually, while you're at it.
Me?
Yep.
Stealth. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
So how close would Eludia be to me at the moment?
Lads,
Right.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Another natty 20. But see, I'm using all these good rolls now. My hands are sweating so much. I know I'm going to fuck up when I start actually hitting you.
So you haven't, I mean, again, these aren't huge trees that you're hiding behind. It's more, this was a case of, has she heard you? Has she heard you kind of moving and approaching? You don't have the same cover you did where you were previously,
Mhm.
but Grace, you haven't heard anything at all.
Okay. And I can't
And
see
from where
any.
you are, you can't see anything either. And you've nowhere else to go.
Nowhere else to go.
Yeah, your
Right.
back is officially to the wall on this.
Can I take the shot now?
It's Grace's action.
I just moved. Do I not get to shoot?
And you went looking for her to see
oh
where
my
she is.
goodness.
Mhm.
Let me skewer her, please.
Jeez. Wow. I am going to cast Blade Ward on myself.
Okay. As you reach out and you focus on the magic around you, feeling that there's nowhere else to go, Grace, you begin to prepare, and you run your hands along your skin, and you start to draw the runes in the air, and you concentrate as the magic just kind of washes over you. Bonus action.
I am going to. I am going to call Pandora.
Oh.
There's a blink, and you feel her before you do anything else. It's again, when she's pulled, you have this sensation of just snagging something from beyond your reach, and that weird, horrible sensation, that sort of, you know, that sleep, that sudden burst of awakeness that you get sometimes when you're just drifting off and your body shocks you awake.
Yeah.
You feel that, and she does as well. And she's looking at you. Yes, Grace?
I'm so sorry. Some absolute psychotic nut job is trying to kill me right now. I need your help. I need your help to either alert me to where she is or to, I don't know. I need your help. I need to survive. I need to get out of this. Can you help me?
I'll do whatever you tell me to, Grace.
I promise. Once this is all done, we'll sit and we'll talk, and I'll try and figure out what has happened. I know you're not happy to be here, and I wish I don't know what's happening, but I need you to find Eludia.
She nods and vanishes. You know exactly where she is. You can feel her. You can feel the energy around her. And she flutters out of the cave. And you just see her point, or feel her point rather, in the direction you came from only moments ago. Eludia.
Can I see Pandora or no?
No, she is invisible.
Okay. I can still see
And
Grace though.
she's going to go at you. And you've also, for the record, you've heard her talking to something.
Okay. Yeah, but in fairness, I haven't seen anything, so
Yeah.
yeah.
She could just be like talking to whatever god it is that she's
Done great.
bringing.
Eludia talks to herself. I'm sure Grace is the same.
Mhm.
I still have a clear shot at Grace though, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gonna take that, baby. That is a 19 to hit.
And your damage?
And my damage is, oh no, it went on the floor. Oh, 5, and then my hunter's mark is a 6, so 11 in total.
Halved.
Halved.
Okay.
And that rounded up, so it's still 6 damage.
Okay.
An arrow just where.
Oh, can I aim for her knee?
Ooh, you want to go there?
If you're aiming, I always make called shots at disadvantage
Fair.
Um,
Let me go again.
so
That is a 17 to hit.
it's still gonna hit, I assume.
Yeah, it's gonna
Okay.
hit. It's gonna
Um,
hit.
an arrow just whizzes straight through
Mhm.
the cave, and you know just where Pandora had pointed. You see it comes straight from that space, and it hits you straight into the knee, and there's a sickening crack as it splinters your kneecap, and the cartilage is ruptured. And you buckle under it, Grace. You actually feel yourself, your leg give out from underneath you.
Oh dear.
So you've become injured,
Mhm.
and you're now going to have to start making DC Constitution saves on any actions in combat.
Woohoo. I am.
I've never done PvP before, and this is actually horrible. I do not feel the joy I get from fighting creatures. This is
Yeah,
different.
it sucks, doesn't it?
It sucks.
I am going to witch bolt in Fiona's direction.
It sucks. I'm gonna witch bolt the bitch.
Okay.
Listen. Okay. That is a 24.
Let me just check if that hits. Yes, that hits.
Was there ever a doubt? Um, 1d12. That is an 11.
Oh baby, it hurts.
Does it hurt
Um,
God?
Okay. As quickly as you fire the arrow in, and you hear Grace actually grunt in pain, and you can feel it. Eludia, you can almost taste the blood on the air. There is just an explosion of crackling red and black lightning out from the mouth of the cave, and it's illuminated. And you see Grace, and she's leaning over onto one side on her right leg, and she fires it straight at you. And before you have a chance to duck, it hits the tree that you were kind of half using for cover. The tree explodes, and it just courses through you, and your whole body goes taut as this energy just runs through you. Bonus action, Grace.
Can I see Eludia now?
I need to
You can
roll
both-
Constitution. Sorry, for Hunter's Mark.
Oh yeah.
Not 20
you,
again,
You
baby.
can both see each other. Those are definitely loaded dice.
Those are some fishy.
Sorry, it's not
tilapia
loaded. Sorry,
dice.
it's not loaded dice unless it's me doing it. Obviously, of course.
Hey, baby.
Nah,
Well, you took off nearly half my health in one hit, Grace, so I think you're doing okay.
not good enough.
Fuck.
Okay, so we can see each other. How close are we to each other?
25 feet.
I'm gonna cast Blood Curse of Binding on
leave me
Eludia.
Is that bonus action?
Yes.
Okay. What is your blood curse of binding?
So it's an action that I will attempt to bind a large or smaller creature that I can see within 30 feet of me, and it must succeed a strength saving throw,
Oh yeah, that's my forte.
or your speed is reduced to 0 and cannot take reactions until the end of your next turn. Oh, and I'm going to amplify that. Sorry.
I got a 9.
Okay. So that's a fail.
You're not gonna move. You're not gonna move.
Come
I'm
on, you
gonna
guys.
get your
Come
ass.
on, Grace.
as you as this courses through you, and you feel the pain just ripping into your body, Eludia, and the anger as your jaw is now clenched, not just because you're pissed, because your nerves, literally your whole body is standing, and your nerves are frayed. You look, as you see that red lightning crackling through the witch bolt, it isn't electrical energy. It's wet and warm. It's blood. And as it courses into you, you feel it seep into your veins and the blood in your veins and arteries tightens, and you can see the outline of every muscle, every tendon, just almost as if someone grabbed every single strand in you and just pulled it tight, and your whole body is frozen to the spot. Your action, Olivia.
So I can only repeat the save at the end of my turn, is it?
Um,
Cannot take reactions until the end of your next turn. So with my amplify on this curse, this will last for a minute.
Can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns.
The
Yeah.
end of my turn.
You can still take actions and bonus actions. You just can't take reactions, and you can't move.
I can't move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She can feel her heart in her throat now. She was doing so well at the start, and the confidence got the better of her. And seeing Grace so close to her and feeling that horrible power coursing through her, her hands shake a little on her bow. But again, she takes a breath, steadies herself, and she tries to move and realizes she can't. She's going to look Grace dead in the eye. Bring the longbow up. What arm did you use to shoot your curse at me with? T.
Probably would have used my right arm.
She's going to go for the right shoulder. I know it's going to be a disadvantage, but she's pissed. Come on, baby. First roll was a 22. Second roll was a 26. So it's 22.
22 hits and the damage.
Damage.
What's with those dice, nah?
7. Oh, I did my concentration save, by the way, for my hit
Hunter's mark.
and saved it. So
Okay.
so it's 7, and Hunter's mark is, I only got a 1, so 8 damage.
Okay.
that's
And your
30.
blade ward is it concentration? No, it's only one round anyway. It's fine.
Yeah.
You watch even as both of your hands, this lightning and this chaotic blood magic just courses out of you, Grace, and it rips into her, and you see the pain on Eludia's face, but you also see the rage and the furrowed brow and just the fire behind her eyes. And against all of it, you see her raise her longbow, draw another arrow, and fire. And as you try and just throw yourself out of the way, it's too late, and the arrow pierces your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and it just ruptures. It goes through cleanly. There's an arrow in your knee, and there's an arrow in your right shoulder.
Oh my
Right.
goodness, Grace.
Bonus action, Ludia.
No, I can't do anything else right
Oh,
now.
sorry. Okay. Grace.
Okay. So, what am I gonna do now?
Look at the face on her. Feck off you.
So I'm going to limp my way to Ludia. So I'm gonna shuffle, gritting my teeth with every movement because obviously it's going to hurt my knee and it's going to jar my shoulder. And I'm going to use that pain to fuel me closer and closer to Ludia, smelling the fear that is now going to start coming out of her pores as I just kind of lose myself a little bit in the blood haze. And I'm going to get real close, look her square in the eye, and say, if only you had some manners. And with that,
Can I do my
I-
save to move?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Before you hurt me, T. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're not gonna believe me. You're not gonna believe me. It's a 20. It's
we
fucking
can't-
20.
We can't see it. It's all blurry, and it
It's
looks like
there.
spaghetti.
I swear, I'm pouring sweat.
You hobble out of the cave towards Eludia, and Eludia, you watch, you see this, you see the crackling of the magic. Still, Grace holds it, and something in you screams, "Run!" And as painful as it is, you actually you fight against everything holding you in place, every ounce of everything in you that wants to see Grace die. And you just hear a soft voice whisper in your ear, "Run."
To me?
Yeah,
Can I hear this?
yeah, you do.
Oh, Pandora. Okay.
And Pandora, there's just a very strange sensation on your hand, on your shoulder for a second, and you run. You're able to move.
Okay. Fuck, my heart. Oh my god. Okay, full movement, 30 feet.
But
Away.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you're still gonna run. It's still
And
Grace's action.
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's too scared right now to even say anything to you, Grace. She's just gonna run for cover.
Okay. So, oh, I still have an action. 'Cause
You
I
still have
always
all
do.
your actions and bonus
Oh
actions.
yeah. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So the first thing I'm going to do is Witch Bolt again,
Oh no.
and that is a 20 to hit.
You don't have to. With Witch Bolt on her, it stays.
Oh
So you
yes.
could,
Oh yeah.
so
Sorry.
but you
Sorry.
have
Just
to use your action to do the lightning damage.
yeah, damage again. Sorry.
Yeah.
How what's the range?
Where is my d12?
30 feet.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it's a D12.
Shit.
That is a 12
Oh my god, T.
with my Blood Hunter dice, and then I'm going to use my action surge to take one additional action. And with that, I'm going to plunge both scimitars into your back.
You won't get her movement wise.
Won't I? Oh wait, oh
No,
yeah, because
yeah.
Oh, can I what wait, can I throw? Can I throw?
Yeah.
Can you throw a scimitar?
Is it a Let's have a look.
I say no.
Actually, do you know what? I won't throw a scimitar. I will shoot my crossbow at you instead.
I don't think you can shoot. Oh yeah, you're using action surge. Yeah, you can.
Mhm.
Yeah, roll to shoot.
Oh my goodness.
That is a 21.
That hits. And then the damage.
That is a 7. Wait.
What?
How many points did you have before?
No, you just tell me what you've done, and then I'll tell you my bit.
Can someone tell me, because I'd like to know?
Is it 7? Yeah. Yeah, she's down.
Eludia, you run. You feel the weight in your body, the agony of your muscles, the heaviness of the snow and your wet clothes. You just run. And you hear Grace screaming after you. And as you dare to look over your shoulder, you just see the trees light up in these black and red shadows. And as the bolt strikes you in the back, it sends you flying forward. And you fall to your knees, half skidding to the ground, and you stumble and you pull yourself up. You feel the energy coursing through you again, that pain, and you get up. And then there's a sound. It's a crack. And you hear it echo around. And then you feel this intense pressure in your back. And your lungs burn. And you stumble this time. And you feel the cold of the snow. And you can taste the blood in your mouth. And you press your hands into the earth and you push. But you feel your whole body giving way. And we'll leave the session there.
I think I feel sick.
I'm sweating.
Before
so
I get into
much right now.
before I get into the usual spiel,
Oh.
again, everybody okay? We're going to take a little bit of time after this to decompress anyway, but is everybody okay?
No.
Okay,
Fuck. I was not doing the math.
that's fine. Like good math or bad math? Because if that's the case, you might just go back to D&D Beyond.
No. As in, I wasn't counting as I was doing the damage. Like, as in, I
Okay.
just wasn't paying attention to how much damage I was doing.
I'm down. I'm gone.
Thanks. Sorry. So we just had a raid just as you die.
Hi, Raiders. Welcome to my death. Bring nice flowers to my funeral. I like lilies.
But not around cats.
Not around cats.
Oh my God.
Genuinely, is everybody okay?
Yeah.
We will have a little bit of a thing afterwards. Anyway, once we wrap this up. But if that's okay, then I might just bring this to a close. Okay.
I think.
That's fine. Thank you so much to everybody in chat for watching us this evening. Apologies that it went on a little bit later, but you can kind of see why we had to. And again, big apologies to our raiders who just dropped in, Chaotic Neutral Games. Thank you very, very much for that. I think Penny Dragon Games popped in for a while there as well. So thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it. My name is Declan. I've been your Dungeon Master for this evening. I have been joined by the absolutely phenomenal players in front of you. Tendai as Grace Stormfield, Fiona as dead, Eludia Cinderelle, Amber
She's great while
as
she lasted.
Sueris, and
Possibly dead.
Eilish as Six.
Still hanging in there.
Absolutely an absolute pleasure to run a game for you all. Big thank you to Louise, who was keeping her eye on all the back end stuff for this and helping out in chat and stuff like that. So
Thanks, Louise.
big thank you for that.
And thank you, Declan.
Yes.
I'm just here
You
to
a-
make everybody upset.
You had us all on the edge of our fucking seats.
I
We're
am
gonna kill you.
traumatized.
We are D8 Dungeon. We are a group of Irish tabletop role-playing game enthusiasts. We love telling stories, not all as serious and not always PvP, but we are very much stories that have a big impact on us as players and DMs, but on an audience here on Twitch. Every second Monday, we have a show called Rise of the Forsaken. Every second Thursday, we've got Saving Grace, which is a self-contained adventure wrapping up very soon. Every second Friday, we release our podcast, Romance the Dungeon. God, we're putting a good lot of TTRPG stuff out there. So if you don't like this, you might like one of the other things. Beyond that, we also run a lot of other streams. Every second Tuesday, I run a show called DM Notes, where I take an hour out of my day just to talk about me being a DM, things I've learned. I've been doing this for like 18 years, if not longer. I'm 36. I've been doing this for 19 years. I'm a liar. Oh, I'm so old now.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
Oh,
but
jeez.
I pass on the stuff that I've done, the stuff that's worked, the stuff that doesn't work, and it's a discussion. It's not a class. Ugh. No one wants to learn from no one wants to learn from me. But it's a discussion, and I invite other DMs and players and just people who enjoy the hobby to come in and talk about things. At the moment, I'm focusing on world building. Every second Saturday, we make maps, and there's a different map maker. We have date night tomorrow night, and it's just a super casual, super chill hangout session. We usually don't play TTRPGs, but we might play some games. Like for the month of June on our date night, I was trying to seduce sexy daddies in Dream Daddy.
Ooh.
They were all seduced. I won. Just like real life. Just like real life. We are organizing a big charity event at the end of this month. If you'd like to get involved, we're still looking for DMs. We're looking for players. Head on over to our Discord server. There's more information there. All money raised is going towards Planned Parenthood because too long has this country, Ireland, lived under the thumb of being an anti-abortion country, and it's still not perfect here, but god damn it, it's a fight worth fighting for, and everybody should
Yep.
have that choice. So we are just doing what we can to maybe support the efforts of our friends in the US as they
We
fight.
have a volunteer in chat, Declan.
Oh, deadly. I was like, sorry, you were pointing at someone. I was like, you pointed at Amber. On my screen, you pointed at Amber. She sneezed. She's volunteering now.
I think D.V. Gibson was so taken by how amazing Eludia was that they just said, "Look, we
Great.
have
Well,
to-
she can be in
have
your
to
game
do
then,
this."
D.V. Gibson. She can be in your game then. You can- Off with you. But yeah, we're organizing that for the end of the month. If you head on over to the Discord server, you'll find more information there, and you can always just give one of us a shout. We're always in there in that space and stuff like that. Last thing to mention, we have a link, an affiliation link with the Rook and the Raven. Whether you're a player or a dungeon master, whether you're keeping track of a full campaign or you're keeping track of your player character, if you head on over to the Rook and the Raven, they make some wonderful customizable TTRPG notebooks
Beautiful.
that you can accessorize with content. And if you use the code D8Dungeon at checkout, you get 15% off. And if you're in Ireland, the UK, or Europe, shipping's much faster now because they ship from Ireland now. They have a little warehouse in Ireland, so they ship from Ireland, so you get a little bit faster. But if you're in the US, you also get they've a warehouse in the US too. So everybody wins with shipping. Yay! So if you use the code D8Dungeon at checkout, we get you get 15% off, and we get a little bit of those monies to help us produce more content. We're back in 2 weeks' time for verse 8. Cross my heart.
Gonna haunt you all.
And we will see you all then. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Happy
Thank you.
Thursday.
Bye.
Happy Death Day.